Hello, my darlings. Hello, hello, hello. I am back. Oh my goodness, it's so good to be here. How are we? How are we? Are we well? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I want to chat to you. So, I'm back from my summer sabbatical, as it was called. I am feeling so much better, refreshed and excited, and can't wait to share the amazing things that I have been dreaming up, thinking about, because we know that right, for those who know astrology, I have got a sixth house sun in Taurus, okay? We simply cannot not work, even when we're supposed to not be working. So, but I can't get into any details just now, but just know that it's exciting. Well, I think it is. So we're going to be doing a reading, and it'll be for the 3rd to the 9th of August. Wow. How did we get to August, guys? I mean, seriously, please excuse the traffic noises if you can hear them. I have my window open because it's still very warm here in Scotland. So yeah, we're in Leo season. Woo! It's a lot. It's intense. But we're here for it. We love it. We love the sun being in fire signs. It just makes things work. Okay, so I've still been, and honestly, I have maybe picked in the last 2 months. Okay, because 2 months was off. I've probably picked up the cards about 3-4 times. I just took as much of a break as I possibly could. There was no daily pulls for myself. I've not even checked astrology. I only know that it's Leo season because that's fundamental basics. I've just completely switched off from everything. And it's been a weird. This blouse is really weird. Sorry, I'm just having a moment here. It makes me feel really weird. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know. It's weird. It makes me just look like a triangle. I just feel like it was making me look like a triangle. I think because the shoulders are like. Yeah, okay, sorry. Well, I have a meltdown, a fashion meltdown. So the deck that I pulled out of the jar is the first time I've done that as well. Okay, so the TBR jar. Let's see, I can get a better picture of that. Oh my god, cameras. Light. Okay, so the wee TBR jar. And it is the Sassy Dragons Tarot. Yay! By Peggy Papes and supervised by Lisa Papes. So big shout out to them. Absolutely love their work. And this is the not safe for work edition. Okay, so this is a sweary edition. When they did the Kickstarter, I got the 2 versions, and I got the the edited version one, and I gave that to my mum. Okay, so that because that was cheeky enough for her, because my mum's real like she doesn't swear. Okay, and even if she has to read a swear word, she gets herself really harassed. Okay, so I have got the Sassy Dragons, and in honour of that, I have picked this deck. Now, I picked this up in May, in a very unlikely place, but anyway, it's another story. It's called the Fuck It deck, right? Now, this isn't cheeky, this is downright just fucking rude, some of the cards, right? So, I'm still debating as to whether or not, pardon me, I should even use it. But we shall see. We'll see how I feel. Because I've cleared my desk and, in an attempt to tidy my office. Yeah. So we'll maybe use that, and if we don't, well, we'll see. We'll see what I pick up. So yeah, so tell me what you've been up to. Tell me what how your summer's shaping up. I have, as I say, I've been taking it so easy. there's still been life stuff going on, you know what I mean, and life admin and stuff like that, but on the whole, I have just been trying to put myself first as much as possible. Listening to my body, listening to what I need. They needs change every day thanks to perimenopause. Yay! Any yous in the thicket, in the trenches with me, I see yous. It's not for the weak. It is not. However, right, let me just spray this and hopefully I don't get it in my tea. Right, so this is a ritual mist spray. Okay, and it says for shadow work and divination, and it's Black Moon Lilith, and it's for Black Moon Botanica, and it's a shop in Edinburgh. They've got 2 stores in Edinburgh and they've got 1 in Amsterdam. Okay, so see, I don't usually show you that I'm doing this, but I thought, well, a wee bit more transparent, and I wish you could smell it because it's lovely. Very nice. I don't know the ingredients, but anyway. Right, so let's see. This is going to be really raw. I'm kind of pleased that this deck came up because it's like it's got wee keywords. It's got extra cards on it, and I don't use extra cards, but this deck I do use them because they're funny. And if they come out, you'll see, and if you've got the deck, you'll know what I'm talking about. Right, so let's see. Can we get a reading, please? Some cards. Okay, well, that one's going to jump out. But the 3rd until the 9th of August. Now, if you're wondering why I'm looking there, that's because my calendar is there. Right, I'm going to show you my calendar. Oh God, I'm so squirrel brained today. Right, it's goats. It's baby goats with hats. Goats and hats. And it is for Dalscone Farm, which is a farm in the borders of Scotland. So I've got hair in my mouth. I'm being so honest with you guys. Not that I'm not honest always, I'm always honest, but too much. But I'm being real. So let's see. Okay, for the 3rd to the 9th of August, please. Okay. Oh wow. Fuck's sake. Okay. Now, this is really interesting because the one time I did pull some cards over my break, I get 2 of these 3 cards. So I don't know what's going on. Again, there's a dog barking. Sorry. Okay, so first things first, the cards that came out, we have got the 5 of Cups, we have got the 10 of Swords, and we have got the Knight of Pentacles, okay? And at the bottom of the deck, we got the Ace of Pentacles, right? Now this is good, right? This is the underpinning energy of the week. And it's potential. Okay, aces are potential. Aces are beginning. We all know aces are beginnings. You know, it's the beginning of the suit, it's the beginning of, it's beginning of whatever. And what it feels like is there's very much a beginning and an end here. Okay, or what's more so is there's an end, then there's a beginning. Okay, because we've got that 5 of Cups and we've got the 10 of Swords. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read the wee messages that is on the cards because I feel that they're really pertinent, and I love Peggy so much, and her and Lisa are going through a bit of a rough time just now. They've just lost their 2nd wee doggy just in the last few days, and just sending out all the love in the world. So 5 of Cups, don't cry over asshats. Allow yourself to grieve what was lost, but remember what remains. Okay? And the 10 of Swords, yeah, it's a shit sandwich, but you don't have to eat it. rock bottom can be a solid foundation that you can rebuild on. And the Knight of Pentacles is fuck the hare. Be the tortoise. Consistency and steady progress are more important than speed. Okay, and this is really true. So see what I mean, like about the ending and then the beginning. Okay, there's very much like something that is happening where this week it'll be like either a great culmination of something, you know, maybe it doesn't need to be as dramatic as like a physical loss of somebody or a physical death. It can be, you know, like the death of an idea, you know. You maybe be, the phrase comes through, it's like flogging a dead horse, even though I hate that expression, but you know, it's like that feeling, you know, where it's like if you keep doing something simply because you want to keep doing it because you really believe in it but it's not working, then it's maybe time to admit defeat, you know, but have that understanding that, you know, yeah, grieve what you've lost, but oh my god, this camera, I'm going to need to try and get one of the overhead cameras and work out how to do it. What it feels like is this is just like the ending of something that you probably knew, you know, you've probably known that the writing was on the wall for quite some time, you know, and you've just been gritting onto it because it's maybe something that you have always known and you maybe just don't want to admit that to yourself, you know. But I feel like this week, and particularly because we are coming up to the first set of eclipses, the first eclipse season in the Aquarius Leo axis. Okay, now last week we had a full moon in Aquarius and that was intense. But we also, so what we're working up to in the 12th, is it? Yes, the 12th, right? Okay, it's a solar eclipse in Leo, and then we're going to be in eclipse season. Now, weird and wonderful things happen during eclipse season. If you have got any placements in the Aquarius and Leo axis, or even like Scorpio and Taurus as well, probably the most impacting signs. However, everybody will be affected in one way or the other with the eclipse. So it's like important for you to understand, you know, yes, there is, and it could be, you could look at it very fatalistically and think, oh my goodness, it's the end of the world and I'm never going to get out of this. Okay, you will. Okay, it's not going to be pretty, it might not be pretty, right, but you will. And what I'd like to also say is, with regards to the eclipse energy, think back to 2014. Okay, what were you doing in 2014? What was happening in your life? Where were you working? Who were you seeing? Who did you know? Who did you hang around with? You know, who were you having conversations with? Who were you doing things with? Because these themes are going to be kind of brought back up, but in a different way. But they mean themes because that in your birth chart, the two houses that are ruled by Aquarius and Leo respectively, whether or not you've got any planets or whatever's in there, that's the two areas of your chart that's going to be lit up. Now, I know I keep going on about the eclipse even though it's next week, but I just feel like this, intuitively, this is coming through as it's going to be quite important, and you're going to be able to, things are going to happen this week and leading into next week where, you know, like it's like beginning energy, you know, it's like that, it's that ace, you know, it's like in the wee messages, ka-ching baby, when opportunity knocks, remember to open the door. And that's really apt, you know, it's because, as I say, the aces are opportunities, but it'll always remain an opportunity unless you act upon it. Okay, it's like, it's amazing having these great ideas, okay, but if you don't act on them, then somebody else will think of them. You know, it's like when something needs to be birthed into the world. It was very much when I'd done like the Grief Journey Oracle. You know, it was like I was sitting and I was like, should I not, should I not? And I remember hearing something or listening to something, and it's like, if you keep getting a thought to do something and you don't do it, then the muses are going to take that idea to somebody else who will do it, and then you'll be sitting there kicking yourself. And that was really kind of one of the the final straws that thought, right, to me, it was like, right, I need to do this. So if you're sitting there, thinking, oh, but I've tried this and it didn't work out, and I don't really know if I want to do anything else, and blah, 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 just try. Okay, just try. Because you never know. And it's always better to try something and see if it works or if it doesn't work than to be sitting wondering. At least I think so, right? So that's the energy this week coming. Knight of Pentacles. Things are going to take time. It feels like this is very much a transitional week. Yeah, it's like a transition before the transition of the eclipses. Okay, that's what it feels like. It's like, we've got this space and time that we're saying goodbye, we're grieving the things, we are admitting, maybe we need to admit defeat, and that's a really hard thing to do. It's not that something wasn't good, it's not that something was a bad idea or anything, it's just it wasn't the right time. And if something's continually difficult and something's continually hard and it doesn't flow, then that's when you know that it's not the right thing. Okay, and I have been there myself. It's really difficult to admit that, but slow and steady. And then it's like you've got that Ace of Pentacles, and when somebody says to you, like, say for instance you're sitting and you think you're going in a particular path, and somebody says to you, oh, do you fancy going here, or do you fancy trying this, or do you fancy doing that? Say yes. Okay, so try that this week, right? When somebody asks you something, right, because there's going to be a point at some point in this week, right, where somebody is going to ask you to do something or ask you something, and your immediate reaction is to say no. Okay, now within reason, keep your boundaries, etc., and keep, your kind of integrity, that sort of thing. But if it's something that you would kind of feel no because you would generally feel uncomfortable doing, say yes. Okay, right, so I will do the same thing, right? Okay, so let's make a deal. Okay, so if I get that question asked of me this week, okay, to do something that is out with my comfort zone within reason, okay, where it doesn't hurt anybody, it doesn't go against principles and integrity, then I will say yes. Okay, and I will tell you next week. Okay, I will need to write myself a post-it and put it in my front of my desktop, but I will say yes. I'm no, oh no, what will I let myself in for? But right, okay, so let's try that together, okay, shall we? And yeah, so that's that energy that's coming through. Now, I'd be brave enough to use a fuck it card. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to look at it first to see if I think, and if it's not, and even if it's too bad for me, then right, okay, this is okay, right? This is actually quite good, okay? And it's it's card number 69, right? And there is 69 cards on the deck, right? It's very cheeky. So it's just like affirmations, right? Oh my god, right? So it's like affirmations, right? And this one says, the key to balance is knowing when the fuck you have lost it. Okay, so that's the message for the fuck it deck. So rude, so cheeky. But that's a good one. Okay, and here we go. Right, we'll just go another one, right? Because this is good. You are worth so much fucking more than them. No, you are worth so much more. Fuck them. Right, because you need to be careful how you read this, because it's got different tones, etc. Right, so fuck them. Right, you're worth so much more. So if the thing it's ending is difficult and painful, just remember you're worth so much more. There is something much better waiting on you. Okay, so that will be the weekly reading. Let's have a wee chat. Should I do it in this video? Should I start another video? I don't know. I'm going to call it here, okay? And I am going to say that was your reading for today, for this week coming. It's because I'm actually recording this on the day that it's going to go up. But it's for the 3rd until the 9th of August. We have made that bargain, okay? I've spent my summer reading ACOTAR. Okay, rereading ACOTAR, I should say. I re-listening to the audiobooks these days. So, yeah, I'm getting ready for the new books coming out in October. But what I say is, have a wonderful week. I'm so pleased to be back. There will be a slow start. My books will be opening for a small amount of readings availability. But if you're wanting one, then the links will be below. And if you're watching this and you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Because, you know what, right? I have got about 700 and... let's see... 782 subscribers, right? It's not a lot, but I appreciate every single one of you, right? I really want to get to 1,000. Right? I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. It feels like an uphill struggle, okay? But if you could maybe, if you subscribe and you think that friends of yours would like my content or like my mad, crazy ramblings, then I would love to welcome them. Okay, bye. See you next week.